I'm Jay Kirti, Department of Computer Science. Today we are going to discuss about the subject Advanced Java. The topic we are going to discuss today is the review of Java fundamentals. So while entering into Java fundamentals, the first thing we are going to see about the structure of a program. So what does mean by structure of a program? A program which will execute the thing and will give an output. So in Java, the type of the Java program consists of a user written class and Java API. So the Java applications will have a class. So it will have many classes, but it will has a main method as a class. So Java program is basic elements. It has 4 basic elements. The first one is package, and second one is classes, and third one is data fields, and fourth one is methods. So we are going to discuss about package. So now package. What is meant by a package? Package is nothing but it provides a mechanism for grouping related classes together. So whatever, there will be many classes together, but in package what we are going to do is we are going to collect the classes and we are going to group it together. That is called as a package. So how we are going to introduce package? Package is a keyword and a statement will be given for which the program or class is to be included. So Java assumes it itself as a particular package or contained in the same directory. So only if the classes are in the same directory we can include it as a package. So Java API itself consists of a predefined packages. So what are the predefined packages? So if you have a package already, then it is called as a predefined packages. That means already for class or packages has been created and it is saved in the directory, and if you are going to use the same package, then it is called as a predefined packages. So how to use the predefined packages? Just you can use the predefined packages by using a keyword called as import. So import is nothing but it is going to import the packages from a directory to your program. So you can use the packages. So while you are going to import the statement, import the packages, so you want to use a thing called as java.lang. So java.lang is a thing which you are going to use for importing the packages. This is called as a packages. Now we will move to the classes. So what is meant by a class? Class is nothing but it is a data type that specifies data and methods available for instances of a classes. So an object in Java is an instance of a class. What is a class definition? Class definition is nothing but it is a subclass modifier, access modifier, keyword class, optional extends class, optional implemented class, and class body. So these are the 6 types which includes us in class. So every Java class is a subclass of either another Java class or an object class. So here you can also create an operator called as a new. What is meant by new operator? New operator is nothing but it creates an object or instance of a class. So we have seen already about the superclass, access modifiers, keyword class, extends class, implement class, and class body. So what are the things in that things? Means first in superclass, that is called as an abstract and final. So these two are the syntax which you are going to use in the superclass modifier. In access modifier you are going to use the public, and in keyword class you are going to use the class and class name, and whereas in the extends class you will have the extend superclass modifier, and in class body you will have a extend the classes, and in implement you will implement just the interface list whatever in the interfaces. So this is called as a class. The next thing we are going to discuss about a data field. What is meant by a data field? Data field is a class member that are either variable or a constant. So what is a variable and what is a constant? Variable is a thing where a user can declare a variable and he can initialize variable, and whenever he or she needs, he can change the variables. Whereas the constant is a thing when the user defined a constant, he has been given a value for a constant, it cannot be changed until the program ends. That is called as a variable or constants. So the variable or constants in the class member is called as a data field. So data field declaration will have consists of 2 things. One is access modifier and the second one is use modifier. So what is an access modifier? Access modifier is the same thing as a private, public, and protected. So whereas a private is a sense, the user who is declaring it as a private will use only the things only in the class or in the function, that is called as a private. Whereas in a public, if the user declare a variable or a function or a class as a public. It can be used outside the program also. That is called as a public. What is meant by a protector? The user has been declared a variable or function or a class as a protector with a specific thing. It will have some lock or something that it can be used until this extension, like that. So according to this protection, we can use the modifiers, that is called as an access modifier. Use modifier is nothing but a static, final, transition and volatile. So what is meant by a static? Static is nothing but once it is declared, it will be as a static. Final is the thing, static you can change, the user can change. Whereas in final, the user cannot change. And transient and volatile. Volatile is nothing but 0. So then as access scope, then we are going to discuss about the access scope. The same thing, public, private, protected and package. If there is a class C, for example, there is a base class C. If you have declared the base class C as a public, it can be derived from anywhere. Whereas if it is a private, only it can be used only inside the class. Whereas if it is protected, according to the conditions, you can use from wherever you need. And package means only the any class that contains a base class C you can use, but the derived class, if you have created a derived class D from the class C, you cannot use the package. This is called as a package. So this is the difference between public, private, protector and package. And now we are going to discuss about methods. What does mean by a method? It is used to implement operations. So it should perform one well-defined task. So the method modifiers is called as access modifiers and use modifiers. So what is meant by access modifiers and use modifiers? The same thing. Access modifiers is the private, public, protected. And whereas the use modifier is static, final, volatile and persistent. So valued method. What is a valued method? It returns a value. Or body must contain written expression. For example, if you have declared a main class and if it is going to process the thing, if you give as a return 0 or as a void main, then it is called a return expressions. Then the syntax of a method declaration is nothing but access modifier, whether it is a private or public or whatever it is, whatever the access modifier, and what is this use modifier, static, final or volatile, whatever it is, and return type, what may be the return type, and then the method name and the whatever the parameter list you are going to be passed, and the method body. This is called as a method declaration. So argument can be passed by value for primitive data types. So for primitive data types, value of the arguments can be passed by value. So next we are going to see about the constructor. What is meant by a constructor? Constructor is a special kind of a method. So it has the same name of a class. For example, if I am going to give a class C, then I can declare the constructor in the name C. So the constructor name and the class name must be equal. So that is called as a constructor. So it can be executed only when an object is created for a constructor. So if I am going to create a class called as C and I am going to declare a constructor, the constructor must have an object. So via that object I can execute the constructor. So a class can have multiple constructors. There is no need, only one constructor must have. A class, a same class can have multiple constructors. So how to access the members of an object? So the data fields and methods declared as a public. So if you are going to declare the methods as a public, then the name of the object, what you want to give us the name of the object. If you have declared an object called as D, then it is called as a D, followed by a period. Period means a full stop, comma, semicolon, colon, these are all called as a period. Then followed by the member name. So members, if you have declared it as a static, it must be how you will declare it as a static means you want to use the class name and followed by the period and followed by the member name. So then this is called as a method. So now we are going to move to the language basics. So Java application. Java application is nothing but it is a collection of classes, but it must have a one basic class called as a main method. So Java program can also be written as an applets. It can also have an applets. So the command line, if you are going to give you can also add command line in the Java. So how you will start the command line? By starting with 2 slashes. So you can give a single command line. So if you need to give a multiple command line, you can start with the slash asterisk symbol. Then also after the number of lines in the commands, you can at the end you can can give asterisk symbol and hash symbol. So it will end. So Java doc begins with the slash asterisk symbol, double asterisk symbol, and ends with the asterisk symbol and slash symbol. So next we are going to move for the identifiers and keywords. What is meant by identifiers? It is a sequence of letters or digits or underscores and dollar signs. So this is called as an identifier. So how an identifier should begin? It can begin either with a letter or an underscore. So the sequence of letters, digits, underscores and dollar signs is called as an identifier. But if you are going to declare an identifier, it should begin only with a letter or an underscore. So use of name various parts of a program. It can be used in various parts of a program. So Java is different between uppercase and lowercase. So you can declare an object called as sum, S-U-M, sum, in a capital letter and in a small letter. So this sum, the uppercase sum will have a different value, the lowercase sum will have a different value. So next we are going to see about the keywords. What is meant by a keywords? Keywords which is stored in the Java already it has been stored, and we are going to access that keyword, that is called as a keywords. The next thing we are going to see is a variable. So variable is the thing which is going to represent the memory location. So where it is stored and how it is stored, that is called as a variable. So it contains a value of primitive type or a reference. So it is called named as a Java identifier. It is declared by preceding variable name with data type. For example, double radius. So radius of A. So we are going to declare the radius of A. Sphere. String name, string object. So what is reference to A? So radius is the thing we are going to declare as a variable, and via the reference of a variable we are going to reference to A. Then static fields and methods. What is static fields and method? A data field that does not belong to any object, or adding to a reserved word static. So for example, the access modifier public, private or protected we are going to give, and the static. And what is the variable type? So for example, data type int, float or double, and then the number of invocation. The variable name you are going to give equal to 0. So it is also called as static field, static variable or class variable. So one copy of the data item exists to be shared by all the instances of the class. Static does not mean a constant or shared by all objects of the class. So but the value can be changed. In the static, what one can see? The same static value we can declare multiple times and the values can be changed every time. So objects can use a static field to communicate with each other to perform some joint action. So this is called as a static field. So the methods of a static, the method that does not belong to an object of any kind. So you can use a class name instead of object name invoked by the method. So Java's predefined class math is a function which is predefined by Java. It contains the methods called as maximum, root. These are all the things which already Java is predefined. So what you can do, if you want to find the maximum number, you can give int maximum math.max of 2, 3 or 5, 7. So whatever the values you give, it will find the maximum and give up. So there is no need of writing the formula or a function for the max again, because max is a function which is declared in the math function already. It has been predefined. And root is also a function which is predefined by the Java class already. So you can give math.square root of sqrt of some values. So it will find the square root and will give the result. The static method cannot access a non-static field or a non-static method. So if you have declared a variable in static, only that variable can access only the static method. If a method or a variable is not declared as a static, it has been declared as a non-static, then it cannot be used by the static method. So now we are going to about this primitive data type. So what is a primitive data type? Boolean, character, integer and floating types are called as a primitive data type. So Boolean means yes or no. What else? Character, you will have a byte value or a short value or a int value, that is called as a character, integer. And floating point. Floating point is nothing but a float and a double. So Boolean is nothing but yes or true, whereas a character is nothing but a char, and integer is nothing but a byte, short and int, and floating point is nothing but a float and double. So value of a primitive type not considered as an object. So whatever the primitive data type you use, you must give java.lang. So java.lang is an expression where you are going to declare and import such a things. So primitive type is already built in the Java. So no need to declare or define the primitive data type. So int number 1, if you have been given int number 1, the int is a primitive data type which has been declared in Java already. So there is no need to say int is a thing where it will receive a number. String character is a thing where it will receive a characters, or boolean is a thing where it will receive true or false. So the primitive data type is already in Java and it has been declared in Java, so no need to use it again and again or define it again and again. Then string. For example, I am going to declare string greeting equal to happy birthday. So it is a reference value instead of actual string. So I am going to give string greeting happy birthday. So it is just a reference variable. Char is a thing where you are going to get. So it is not a primitive data type. So I am going to refer to a variable and you are going to use the thing. So what is meant by references and aliases? References is nothing but, for example, if I am going to declare name Jamie equal to new name of. So I am going to declare Jamie as a new name of. So Jamie.setFirst equal to Jamie and Jamie.setLast as a Jones. So what is called as a Jamie Jones? So when you call the function name, then what will you have? Jamie Jones. So if I am going to declare a function called as a friend, I am going to say as name friend equal to Jamie. So now what happens? Friend equal to Jamie and Jamie equal to name. So there are two references and a data, a single data. Jamie is a single data, whereas a name and the friend has a two references. So this is called as a references. So methods, how you are going to pass a methods or an arguments. So it can be called by a value or a called by a reference. Call by value is called as a, if you are going to declare a value and you are going to access the arguments through value, then it is called as a call by value. So call by reference means by its address or some other parameters. So the memory address which is going to access is called as a call by reference. Then passing arguments, how we are going to pass an arguments? Before the method calls if it executes, or after the method calls how it executes. That is called as a passing arguments. Coding conventions. So the coding conventions is called as a naming convention. So how we are going to name a convention? So we can use a capitalization to differentiate the identifier's purpose. So if you want to differentiate the thing, you can use a capitalization word. So you can the thing you can use is you can differentiate the identifiers. So what are the class method objects? What is a good name and what is called as a poor name? Good name is now called as a student or a take class or underscore and you have given a name. Then it is called as a good name. What is meant by a poor name? If you have given think, do stuff or see something which is not related to that object or an identifier, then it is called as a poor name. So now we are going to see about the statements, Java statements. So first in Java statements we are going for the assignments and expressions. What is meant by expression? Expression is nothing but it is a combination of variables, constants, operators and parentheses. So if you are going to give an expression, what you will do? You want a variable or a constant and an operator. What operator you are going to use and the parentheses. So in a bracket you are going to give the things. That is called as an expression. What is meant by an assignment statement? Assignment statement is nothing but if you are going to declare a value for a variable. For example, a equal to 5. So then it is called as an assignment statement. Then the thing arithmetic expression. What is meant by arithmetic expression? Arithmetic expression is a combination of variable and constants with arithmetic operators and parentheses. For example, what is arithmetic operators? Plus, minus, modulus, star and percentage. These are called as arithmetic operators. So then now we are going to see about the relational expressions. What is meant by relational expressions? The same, the combination of variables and constants, but with relational or comparison and equality operators with parentheses. That is called as a relational expression. So in arithmetic expression you will have a combination of variables and constants with arithmetic operators and parentheses, whereas in relational expression you will have a combination of variables and constants with relational or comparison and equality operators and parentheses. So relational what is the thing? Less than equal to, greater than equal to, or equal to, or not equal to, or so these are the things in relational operators. So how you will evaluate? For an example, in arithmetic expression, you will have a plus b. So if a equal to 2 and b equal to 3, you will say 2 plus 3 equal to 5. Whereas in relational expressions, you will have a less than b. A equal to 2, b equal to 3. A less than b means what will happen? 2 less than 3. If the condition is true, if the relational operator is true, it will return true. If it is a false statement, then it will return a false. So this is called as a relational expressions. The next is logical expression. So logical expression is also a combination of variables and constants of arithmetic types and relational expressions together with logical operators. So in arithmetic expression, you will have only the arithmetic plus, minus, into, and division and percentage. Whereas in relational expression, you will have, see, whether it is less than or greater than or less than equal to or greater than equal to or not equal to. Whereas in logical expression, you will combine both the arithmetic and relational expression with the logical operators. What is a logical operator? Logical is an operator is nothing but the and or no or. And then or is the logical operators. So it will also evaluate whether it is true or false. For example, if I am going to give a plus b and a less than b. So if a equal to 2 and b equal to 3, what will happen? A plus b is equal to 2 plus 3 equal to 5. And a less than b. A less than b equal to whether it is true or false. If both the conditions are true, it will return true. If any one of the thing is false, it will return false. Whereas in OR operator, what will happen? If any one condition is true, then it will return the result as true. So this is called as a logical expression. Next, we are going to see about the explicit type conversion. What is meant by explicit type conversion? There are two types of conversions. One is implicit and the next one is explicit. So explicit is nothing but it is possible by means of cast operator. We will use a cast operator to convert the thing. For example, unary operator. So it is formed by the enclosing the desired data type within the parenthesis. Within the parenthesis, you want to see to which data type you want to convert. That is called as an explicit type conversion. So next we are going to see about the multiple assignments. What is meant by multiple assignment? For a same variable, if you are going to declare a value multiple times, then it is called as a multiple assignment. For example, if I am going to give a equal to 5 plus b equal to 4, what will happen? Now what is the value of a? A equal to 5 plus b equal to 4. So what will happen? 5 plus b. It means that 5 plus b. What is the value of b? B's value is 4. So what will happen? 5 plus 4 equal to 9. So now the value of a is called as 9. So a is 9 but b is 4. So that is called as a multiple assignments. Now we are going to see about the assignment and expression. So now we have seen, mostly we have seen addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, percentage, equal to, less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to. So now minus equal to, into asterisk equal to, divide equal to. What does it mean? For example, if I am going to give a minus equal to b means it means a minus b. A minus b. So likewise these are the other assignment operators. Now we are going to see about the Java statements. So assignments and expressions. So what is meant by a expression? Expression is nothing but it is a combination of variables, constants, operators and parentheses. So what is meant by a assignment statement? Assignment statement is nothing by a you are giving a value for a variable. For example, a equal to 7 or b equal to 8. That is called as an assignment statement. Now we are going into the expressions. So what is meant by expressions? Expressions, there are many types of expressions. Now we are going to see about the arithmetic expressions. What is meant by an arithmetic expression? It is a combination of variables and constants with arithmetic operators and parentheses. So what are the arithmetic operators? Plus, minus, asterisk, slash or as percentage. These are called as an arithmetic operators. The next is relational expressions. What is meant by relational expressions? It is also a combination of variables and constants with relational or comparison and equality operators and parentheses. So this is called as a relational expressions. So whereas arithmetic expressions is called as a combination of variables and constants with arithmetic operators and parentheses, and relational expressions are combination of variables and constants with relational or comparison and equality operators with parentheses. So relational, what are the relational operators? Less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, not equal to. These are called as a relational operators. So it will just give us a result as a true or false. Whether the given condition is true or false. That is called as a relational expression. The next we are going to see about the logical expression. What is meant by a logical expression? It is also a combination of variables and constants of arithmetic types expressions and relational expressions together with logical operators. That is called as a logical expression. So here both the arithmetic expressions and the relational expressions will be combined together with the logical operator and give us a result. That is called as a logical expressions. So there must be some operators to combine both the arithmetic and relational expressions. So what is that operators called as an and, or, and or. So these are the two logical operators which is going to combine both the arithmetic and relational expressions. So this will also evaluate whether the given condition or given statement is true or false. What is meant by and is nothing but whether the given two sides, whether both the sides are equal, both the sides are same, both the conditions are same, then it will say as true. If any one of the statement is false, then it will return as false in all statement. So the next we will go about the type conversions. There are two types of type conversions. One is implicit and the next one is explicit. What does the implicit type conversions means? It will occurs during the assignment and during expression evaluation. While you are going to assign a value or whether when you are going to evaluate an expression, then it is called as an implicit type conversion. So if the right hand side of the assignment operator is converted to a data type of item on left hand side, then it is called as an implicit type conversion. So right hand side of assignment operator is converted to data type of item on left hand side is called as an implicit type conversion. So then now we are going to see about the explicit type conversions. So explicit type conversion is nothing but it is possible by means of a cast. Here you are going to introduce an operator called as a cast. So the cast operator, what it will do is it will convert the type. Explicitly it will convert the type. For example, if you have a unary operator formed by enclosing the desired data type within the parameter, you can convert the data type. That is called as an explicit type conversion. Then we are going to see about a multiple assignment. What is going to be a multiple assignment? For a same variable, if I am going to give a multiple values, then it is called as a multiple assignment. For example, a equal to 5 plus b equal to 7. So b has a value 7 and a has a value 5. So now what is the value of a? When it is evaluated, what is the value of a? 5 plus 7, what may be the result? 12. So 12 is the value of a and what is the value of b? B, the value is 7. So that is called as an operator. Then next we are going to see the other assignment operators. What are the other assignment operators? It may be minus equal to, plus equal to, asterisk equal to, slash equal to, percentage equal to, or plus plus or minus minus. So these are the other assignment operators. For example, plus equal to in the sense a plus equal to 5, then it is told as a plus 5 equal to. So we will make it as a thing. So a plus equal to b plus 5. Then what does means a plus b equal to 5. So that is called as a plus equal to. What is the mean plus plus? If I give a plus plus, then it is called as an a plus 1. A minus minus, then it is called as a minus 1. This is called as an operators. Okay, now we are moving to arrays. So what is meant by arrays? Arrays is nothing but it is collection of elements with same data type. For example, if I am going to give int a. So I am going to give a of 5 means I can store many of elements. For example, 5 elements in the same variable name. That is called as an array. Array elements will have an order. For example, which number you are entering first, which value you are going to give the first. That is called as an array elements will have order. So it suppose the direct and random access. So it has many types of the arrays. We will have one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. So how we are going to declare? So declare is nothing but for example int. For example, I am going to give a value a of 5 or a of 7. Then it is called as a declaration. So how it will be stored? It will be stored in the form of a stack. For example, whatever it comes, it will be stored on the memory allocation and it will have a index value for every values. For example, a of 0 over the 5. A of 1 equal to 7, A of 2 equal to 9. Like that it will have a different values but the index will be changed accordingly. The variable name is same but the index value and the value of the variable will be changing. So now we are going to see about the one-dimensional array. One-dimensional array is nothing but that you will have only one bracket, for example a of 7 or a of 5 or a of 7, whatever the thing it is called as a one-dimensional array. So that we will have only one thing, whereas in two-dimensional array you will have a of 2 again 3. So matrix, in a matrix format, if you want to store a data, then you will go for a two-dimensional array. Then the next thing is a multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array more than the one index. If you have more than two index, then it is called as a multi-dimensional array. For example, if I am going to give days, weeks, month, then it is called as a multi-dimensional array. So, passing an array to a method. How we are going to pass an array to a method? So, you want to declare the method as follows. You want to give whether it is a private, public or protected. Then you want to give the data type, whether int, float, long, double, short, whatever the data type it is, and the variable name So what are the arrays you are going to pass? So how many things you are going to pass? That is called as a method, passing an array to a method. So the location of an array is also passed to a method. So it cannot return a new array to its value. Only the old array will be returned. Then you are going to move to selection statements. What is meant by selection statement? Selection statement is nothing but the if statement, if else, nested if. So these are called as a selection statements. The if statement is nothing but if you are going to give an expression. If the expression is true, it will go for the statement, or else it will come outside. So if it is an if else, what will happen? If the expression is true, it will display the statement, or else it will go for the next statement, else statement. That is called as an if else. Then what is meant by nested? If you have multiple ifs, if A equal to B, print A is equal to B. Else if B equal to C, print B is equal to C. Else. So you will have multiple else statements. That is called as a nested if statements. Then the next is switch statement. What is meant by switch statement? You will have multiple cases. So if I am going to say switch, I am going to declare the months. For 1, if it is a case 1, it will display January. If it is case 2, it will display February. If it is case 3, it will display March. Arrays. Now we are going to see about arrays. What is meant by arrays? Arrays is a collection of elements with the same data type. You will have a same data type and same variable name, but you will have a different values for a same variable name. That is called as an array. So array elements will have an order, will have a sequence and an order. So it will store as a stack. So it will support both the direct and random access. You can get the values A of 0 and also you can get the value of A of 3. No need to go in an order. So there are many types of array. One-dimensional array, two-dimensional array and multi-dimensional array. Whereas one-dimensional array is nothing but only one parenthesis is given. For example, if I am going to give double A of 7 means you can get the value of 8 A values. You will have an A 8 values. That is called as a one-dimensional array. So it will have the same variable name but different values for different index number. It will store as an index. Then this is called as a one-dimensional array. Two-dimensional things, you will have two parentheses. So you will have two types of variables you can get. For example, if you want to get a matrix value, A of 0, 0 means A of the position of 0, 0 is 5. A of 0, 1, the position of 0, 1, the position of 1, 1, that is called as a two-dimensional array. The next one is multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array is nothing but you will have more than 2, that is called as a multi-dimensional array. So the index will be more than 1, use more number of index, that is called as a multi-dimensional array. So the next we are going to see about the selection statement. What is meant by a selection statement? Selection statement is nothing but if else, nested if, switch. These are called as a selection statement. So what is meant by if statement? If statement is nothing but if a condition has been given, if the expression is true, it will display the statement. Otherwise, the statement will be closed. That is called as an if. Whereas the if else, if the expression is true, it will display the statement. Otherwise, it will go for the else statement. That is called as an if else. Whereas a nested if will have multiple ifs. For example, if A equal to 1, display the first statement. If A equal to B, then it displays the second statement. So if, else if, and then last it will have an else. So this is called as a nested if. The next is a switch statement. If you want to display multiple items, for example, if one is that, I want to display January. If 2 is that, I want to display February. If 3 is that, then I want to display March. So likewise, I want to display all the months in the year. I can give case 1 January, break. Case 2 February, break. Likewise, I can have, and at the last we will have the default statement. So this is called as a switch statements. So these are the conditional selection statements. Now we are going to the iteration statements. What is mean by iteration statement is nothing but while, do while, for, these are called as an iteration statements. So the while statement is nothing but while there is an expression, while it will check the condition. The condition is true, the statement will be executed or it will come out of the thing. Until the condition becomes false, the statement will be executed again and again. So that is called as an iteration. Again and again, if a thing is going to happen, then it is called as an iteration. So this is called as a while statement. Then the next is for statement. So in the for alone, we will have 3 sections in there. The first one is called as initialization. The second one is as a condition, and the third one is to increment or decrement the values. For example, if I am going to give for a equal to 1, a less than 10, a plus plus, what will happen? A until it becomes 10, it will the loop is going to be executed. That is called as a for loop. Then the next is do statement. What is meant by do statement? The only statement which will execute the statement at least once is called as a do statement. Because before the condition is checked, it will execute the statement. After that, it will check whether the given condition is true or false. So whether the condition may be true or false, the statement will be executed at least once. That is called as a do while statement. So these are the 3 iteration statements. So the next we are going to say about the Java classes. So we have an object class. What is meant by an object class? The Java supports a single class inheritance hierarchy. That is called as an object class. So it supports a single class inheritance hierarchy. So with the class called as an object. So the object class will help the inheritance. So what is meant by inheritance? Inheritance is nothing but if you have a class A, if you are going to inherit the same properties in class B, then the variables or functions whatever you have been declared in class A, you can use also it in class B. That is called as an inheritance. So more useful methods is public boolean, protected, public int, public string. These are the things in the methods in the Java classes. Then the string classes. What is meant by string classes? If you are going to give class string. So string title equal to something, whatever it is, walls and mirrors. So what is your assignment here? What is the assignment? Title equal to walls and mirrors is called as an assignment. And if I want to check the length of the string, what I will give? Title dot length of. So it will say me what is the length of the string. So reference is a single character means title what is the index. For example, 5 means it will go for the 5th character and it will give the reference value. So comparing the string. So if I have 2 strings, if I am going to compare the string and check whether both the strings are equal or not, then I am going to use the compare string. Then the next is concatenation. What is meant by concatenation? If I have, for example, if I have James in one string and John in another string, if I am going to join the 2 strings, string 1 plus string 2, then it is called as a concatenation of string. So for this I will use a variable. So use a predefined type and you will concatenate the strings. So here we will have a mutable strings. What are the things? Public string buffer append of string str. Public string buffer insert int offset or string str. Likewise we will have the muted string classes. Then the next is Java exceptions. What is meant by exceptions? Exceptions is nothing but if you have an error. While in a program there may be an error. So if there is an error, we are going for a try, throw, catch. These are the 3 blocks. So try means if there is an error, it will go for the try block. And the try will throw an exception. That throw will go for the catch and it will display the statement. That is called as a Java exception. So exception is nothing but handles an error during execution, and whereas an throws an exception means to indicate an error during a method of execution, and catch an exception means to deal with the error exception. So catching an exception means Java provides try and catch block. So in try block, what will have? You will have a what is the error? You will have the thing. Well, in a catch block, you will have an indicate the type of exception you want to handle. So the syntax is try, the statements catch. So what is the except class identifier and the statements you are going to follow. So types of exceptions in the means, first is checked exceptions, runtime exceptions. Checked exceptions is also called as user defined exceptions. So checked exceptions is nothing but it is instances of classes that are subclasses of, for example, java.lang.exceptions. That was called as a checked exceptions. It must be handled locally or thrown by a method. So it is used when method encounters a serious problem. So runtime exception is the thing occurs when the error is not considered serious. If it is not a serious, if it is a serious error, it is called as a checked exception. If it is not a serious exception, then it is called as a runtime exceptions. So next is finally. What is meant by finally? Finally is a block statement from where it is executed whether or not an exception is thrown. So if you have declared a final block, after that it won't go for a try or catch block. So it is a final statement it is going to declare. So it can be used even if there is no catch block. So that is called as a final statement. So what is meant by a throw class? Throw class is nothing. It indicates a method may be thrown an exception. So that is called as a throw class. So if an error occurs during the execution, so we will throw an exception. So that is called as a throw statement. So the syntax is throw. What is the exception? New exception class and the arguments you are going to pass. Then the next is text input and output. What is meant by text input and output? Input and output consists of a strings. So what is meant by strings? Sequence of characters that either comes from or go to an input-output device. That is called as a input and output. So input stream, output stream. Input stream class or output stream class. Input stream, output stream means print. Whatever you are going to print, that is called as an output stream classes. So system.in is called as a standard input stream, whereas system.out equal to standard output stream. System.error equal to standard error stream. So there are text input and output. You will see an input and output consists of strings. Strings is nothing but you will have a sequence characters that may be either come from or from or go. That is called as an input or output. That is called as a stream. So input stream or output stream. Input stream means you are getting an input. Output means you are going to print an output. So whereas a system.in it says that it is an input stream. System.out means it is an output stream. System.in means it is an error stream. So the next is input. Input is the thing, the scanner class. That means, for example, string next boolean, float. So these are called as a string input. So output means println, system.println, system.out. These are called as an output stream. Then next is file input and output. Now we have seen about the text input and output. So input stream, output stream, error stream. Now we are going to the file input and output. What is meant by a file? File is nothing but a sequence of components of the same type that resides in auxiliary storage. That is called as a file. It can be lost and exist after the program execution terminates. The file may be a large thing where you can, after the execution of the program also the file may be exist. That is called as a file. So next is file grow in sizes as needed. Arrays have a fixed size. File types. File types may be text and binary files. Designed for easy communication with people. So why these text files have been designed? It is designed to communicate with the people easily. That is called as a text files. So it may be flexible and easy to use. It is not efficient with respect to computer time and storage. End of line symbol. You can give also an end of line symbol or end of file symbol. Then the next is opening a stream to a file. So if you have a stream and how you are going to open that stream to a file. So before you can read from or to write or a file, you want to use a class file reader or string tokenizer. Then the next last one is object serialization. What is meant by object serialization? The data persistence, object serialization and serialization. Data persistence in the sense the data stored in a file or for later use. If you are going to store a data in the file for use it now or for the latest usage, that is called as a data persistence. What is object serialization? It is a Java mechanism to create a persistent object. So you are going to create a persistent object, that is called as an object serialization. What is meant by serialization? Transforming an object into a sequence of bytes that represents the object. So it transforms the object into a sequence of bytes that represents the object. So the serialized objects can be stored to files for later use. So what is meant by deserialization? Reverse the process. So what is serialization? It is transforms an object. So what the deserialization will do? So it won't transform the object. So that is called as a deserialization. Then this is the thing in the Java review. So what and all the things we have seen, just I am going to summarize the things. The first one is Java package. So Java package is nothing but it provides a mechanism for grouping a related classes. So that we saw about the import statement. Import statement is nothing but importing the packages. Then the next thing is class. So what does mean by class? Class will have a data type and specified data methods variable and the data fields and the method parameters by a value. Then commands in Java, how to give a single line command and multi-line command. The next we saw about the Java identifier. What does mean by Java identifier? Sequence of letters, digits, underscores and dollar sign. And we saw about the primitive data types. Primitive data types of integer, character, floating, double, long, boolean. These are all the primitive data types. Then Java reference, using an object, how to refer the object. Then we have seen about the final keyword. Then about an array and selection statement and iteration statement and about the string, exceptions, files, data persistence and object serialization. Thank you.